This is awesome. I am Jose Sanchez, and we are here today to talk about what the internet is losing their mind about, especially today. And we are inviting you to discover the future of Battlefield. It's always an important moment for players when DICE creates a new game and unveils it to the world, and I know you guys are excited, so I've invited Lars Gustafsson, design director from DICE, to help me explain what's going on today, because it's a whole lot. Lars?
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Wow.
How you feeling right now, right?
Excited, I think.
Yeah. Nothing
That's
to be
the
nervous
word.
about.
I mean, I'm super excited, and even more so to see, all of these beautiful community people here. It's great times.
And you know, DICE has a stellar reputation in the arena of first-person shooters. Can you tell us how long you've been with the studio?
I've been, do I dare to? I've been there since, not 1942, but 1999.
That's close. I mean, it's
That's
still
close.
last century.
That's close.
That's still the last.
1999, and it's 17 years now, and to have done that journey, starting with kind of small crew of guys who had big hopes and big dreams, and then managed to, kind of push through, start building up the studio, and here we are today, many games later, many what we find as victories later, and I'm just super proud to be here with you tonight.
And, you know, obviously, today is a... I mean, it's an exciting time. It's exciting.
Yes.
Today is the day that first-person shooter fans have been waiting for a long time, because you are here to reveal the future of Battlefield.
I mean, it's incredibly exciting, and then just seeing everything in and around us on the nets building up ahead of this. I mean, since for us, it's always so super important that we push ourselves to come up with new ideas and new experiences, to push the boundaries and the ingredients of Battlefield forward. You know, it's the all-out war on an epic scale. It's immersive gameplay. It's strategy. It's team play and destruction.
I mean, who doesn't love destruction?
Oh, yes.
Destruction, right?
Yeah. No, I love destruction, and it's something brutal in us that need it. So, I mean, what we're going to show here today is how all of this and these experiences come to life in the next milestone of the Battlefield franchise.
But first, let's take a look back, not quite to last century, but at least to 2002, when you guys delivered the first Battlefield with Battlefield 1942.
Yes, I mean, let me take you back in time to my youth.
Time travel.
When the world was
2002.
quite different, to be honest. There were primarily single-player games, and when we talked about shooters, it was primarily the classical arena shooters, which we all loved, but we wanted more. We looked a lot at flight simulators, tank simulators,
Goat
ship
simulators?
Not goat, they weren't invented yet, I think. But in all of this, I mean, we wanted to do more, and we pushed ourselves, and I guess the outcome became Battlefield 1942, where we took the best of these and kind of merged them into a sandbox that became all-out war. You know, it was land, sea, and air vehicles on epic maps. It was team play, much more of the team play to capture objectives. And all of this fueled by what we always talk about, the rock, paper, scissors gameplay. And?
It's solid gameplay.
No, I always lose. But, I mean, to us, we started to shape something. This became a formula, and by building Battlefield 1942, we started to see that there is a space for us where we can be unique and build a game that people haven't gotten to experience before. And I don't think we have a lot of trust in ourselves and high hopes, but it wasn't until that summer, 2002, when we released the demo of Wake Island, where we started to get feedback from all of you out there that we're onto something, and I think we were.
I think the fact that we're standing here 14 years later proves that you guys obviously did something right with Battlefield. So how do you take something amazing and make it even better with Battlefield Vietnam and Battlefield 2?
That's the challenge. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. So what we did was, as developers, we tried to look at, okay, this is the formula for Battlefield, we think. can we transfer that into a new era? So what we did was starting to build Battlefield Vietnam. It's a totally different experience. It's dense jungles, moist, you have the beautiful music, all the songs we love, but it's also very different gameplay. So we pushed ourselves to see, could this work? And ultimately, I think we managed to do it. That's at least my personal experience. It's a great game, if I get to say so, which I do tonight.
You can.
But then we kept on pushing ourselves with Battlefield 2, contemporary era or modern era, with we wanted to push team play, communication so much further. And the whole reasoning here was that we wanted to provide the players, you guys and gals out there, to get to experience what we had felt when we sat in the office playing far too many hours of Battlefield 1942. And we were yelling and screaming, it's take that objective and cover me and the enemy tank. But that wasn't really possible to do to that extent with Battlefield 1942 Online. So we focused on team play, strategy, and I think, the history shows that it paid off, and it resonated well with the community. So now it's more of a given part of the Battlefield universe.
And where do you think was the turning point for the franchise? What had happened?
Ooh, tricky questions on stage. I would say that it was 2008. This was it was a new generation of consoles that came in, the old new generation of consoles. And by that, we built a new engine called Frostbite. In order to push that forward, we also decided to splinter off a bit and create something that we called Battlefield Bad Company. This series had a very different style and tone, I would say, and I loved the humor and the charm around it, and it seemed like a lot of people picked up on it. So that style and tone, in combination with what Frostbite allowed us to do, the destruction, much more dynamic environments that I had been hoping and trying to get for many years, but now we had the technology to do it. So that was a huge leap forward. We got so much more attention for that game. And then, from there on, it's just been crazy. Battlefield 3 totally exploded, and it was such coverage on that game. And then Battlefield 4, and most recently Battlefield Hardline by our friends over at Visceral Games, a great crew. So when I look back at that, the destruction has been a big part of it, but we also focused very much on immersion, the feeling of actually being there on the battlefield, triggering all your senses. So when I look at it and when I've listened to the feedback from the community, this second era has really been about the destruction and about that immersion, and that's what I've heard from the community as well.
And then through all that time, the community grew, and now it plays an even more important role than ever, don't they?
Oh, yes. I wouldn't be standing here and we wouldn't be releasing a new game if it wouldn't have been for all of you beautiful people out there, since it was clear already during 1942 that the success of that game was very much to all of you out there. And a lot of time has passed since then, but the most recent testament to this cooperation and feedback loop is the community test environment, where we invite community. Yes. Woo! Yes. Where we invite the community to be part of the process of developing and refining Battlefield into an even better experience. And I think there's so many brilliant minds out there and creative minds. So it's not only improving and coming up with new things, but it's even been building new maps, and to the point that we started to hire people from this environment. So it's brilliant people out there just waiting to help out. And I love that.
Yeah, and it's cool having a community that you can pull from.
Oh, yes. Yes, we love great people, and apparently the world is full of them. but also this creativity is shown in so many ways. Just talking about the videos, for example, from 1942 and onwards, and we have many of the greatest minds and the greatest video makers here today. It makes us as developers so freaking very happy.
You can say freaking. That's fine.
I can say freaking.
That's fine.
Okay.
Don't take it any farther than that.
Yes. We love you. And it's not only the videos, it is the emblems, the creativity you induce. It's even to the point that back in my office, or our office, by my seats, I have this toilet lid cover that is airbrushed with the Battlefield 2 logo and motive, done by our fans, and it's. I mean,
I'm glad
you
that's
got to love it.
I'm glad that's at your desk.
It is. You can be safe.
Yeah.
So, to me, Battlefield isn't only fun to play, but it is also fun to watch.
It's definitely fun to play, and it's even more better to watch. So are you going to show us something to watch? Are you going to show us the new Battlefield? Huh? Yeah? Is it time?
Actually, we are bringing a special guest for this honor. So please welcome Patrick Söderlund to the stage.
Thank you, Lars. I'm humbled to be here today. And as I stand here thinking about the new game, I can't help but be very excited about the future of the franchise and the future for first-person shooters. Battlefield holds a very special place in my heart. I've been involved in each and every game since the beginning of the series. It's been a part of my life for almost 2 decades. It was the first true sandbox game. It was the first game to mix land, sea, and air vehicles. And now it's going to break new ground again. I know this because the developers at DICE have created something new, something special in their own signature way. They hold themselves to the highest standards. They drive to be the best. They push boundaries and always strive for more. I want to thank the people back home in Sweden for their dedication and passion. Talking about passion, the greatest games are always built on passion. Passion from the game makers like the team at DICE. Passion from all of you out there, the fan community. That's what inspires me. That's what gets me out of bed every morning. All of this comes together in Battlefield. It always has. Let me tell you one thing, making games is exciting, but it's also hard. Creating amazing experiences takes a unique mix of creativity, technology, craftsmanship, and a community. The creativity, the dynamic, adaptive gameplay is what keeps things fresh. Dynamic environments, incredible destruction. These are the choices that mean no battle is ever the same. Technology, powered by the Frostbite engine, Battlefield has always been at the leading edge. Unmatched visuals, unmatched gameplay. Using Frostbite, awesome things come to life. Craftsmanship, one of the coolest things about game development. It's the only art form that brings together experts from so many areas. Even more than movies, games are the only medium that blends artists, engineers, technologists, musicians, and designers to create amazing, immersive, interactive entertainment. And the fourth thing is the community, you. You're the linchpin of all. The community is the engine that drives the action. I've seen you guys pull off some crazy stunts in Battlefield, and I can't wait to see what you guys do next. All of this is why Battlefield is so dear to me, both as a player and as a game maker. Now, it's time to show you where Battlefield is going next. Everything you're about to see was captured in engine. This is Battlefield 1.
first on Xbox One with EA Access.
That was awesome. Holy crap.
In the full
Can we play it again? I think everybody would like it. Can we do that? Can we play one more time? We can? Yes! Play it again!
Play it first on Xbox One with EA Access.
It's even better the second time. Can we play it again? We can't? Maybe later? It's fine. Well, I definitely need to know more. I'm going to bring back Lars on stage to talk about what we just saw, because that was rad. That was insane.
Thank you.
Please, don't be shy, Lars. It's okay. It's out there now. That was rad.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
I also have a little more help. I would like to bring out senior producer from DICE, Mr. Alex Grondal. Well done. And we have a Battlefield game changer here also. I'd like to introduce Westy to the stage.
Yeah. Hey man,
Welcome, brother.
how's it going? Yeah. Hey.
Woo! I need to have a seat. Just myself. I just saw. Guys, the trailer, Battlefield 1. It's out there. How excited are you for this, Alex?
Whew, I'm very excited. Finally, we get to reveal this secret that we've been working on for so many years. And I know the team and I have been waiting for this moment, and I'm super happy to be able to share this moment with you guys, our fans, and everyone else out there on the internet. So yeah, super exciting.
Lars, the trailer, Lars?
Yeah,
It's out there.
it is.
No, it's more than super exciting. It's once again, as Alex says, to get to do it here in front of you, in front of all of you out there, is showing up your newborn baby and revealing it to the world. It's nervous, but I mean, I've seen this trailer a lot, and trust me, I love it. But so I spent the time looking at all of you while you were watching, since I wanted to see your emotions, your faces. What did trigger and what did you like? Since in the end, even though we played the game and we think we know best, in the end it's not for us. We build the game. We want to build it for you, and we want to know what you like, and therefore this is so important to us. And your expressions gave me goosebumps. So yes, thank you.
You made an old man cry.
Yes.
Well, there's also, the people here and the over 500,000 people watching online probably have goosebumps as well. Westy, I mentioned you were part of the Game Changer program. Can you explain a little bit about what that is and what it was like for you to get to see the trailer with us?
Yeah, so as a game changer, I've actually had the opportunity, a really fortunate opportunity to play this game already, which is just amazing. And I've given some feedback with the rest of the team over at DICE to Lars and Alex here. But it's actually the first time that I've properly sat down and watched that trailer, and we watched it twice. So it was, I think you can all agree that was really, really epic. And the game really is as fun to play as it looks at it up there on the screen.
So Alex, tell us what makes Battlefield 1 so great.
Well, it's many things. First of all, you get to experience the dawn of all-out war, which is unmatched on an absolutely epic scale. And this incredibly divergent technology they used, it's fantastic.
So what do you mean Divergent technology.
So
My brain doesn't work that fast.
No, okay, mine doesn't either, by the way. But what that means is that you get to experience some really cool and unique experiences, like these fierce cavalry charges alongside tanks and biplanes, and these massive air battles that took place. And this was also a time when there's the up and close combat was still a viable option. So there will be a lot more brutal and close combat as well, which is pretty cool to bring you as an experience.
Who doesn't love good close quarters combat? I'm a big fan. But you guys aren't just elevating the gameplay itself. You're taking us into a new era.
Yes, that's right. We're bringing World War I to our players. So this is, as I said, the dawn of all-out war. And it's the genesis of the modern warfare. And this is why we called it Battlefield 1.
It all makes sense now. I see how you guys did that. Westy, what do you think about that?
Well, it definitely makes sense to me. I really like the contrast that you've got here between the history of World War I and this like technological advancement. It comes to a head, and that's like new and fresh. It hasn't been done for a long, long time, and I really do think it's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, as we started this game and as we set out to do it, it is all about what new type of gameplay can we provide, and when we started to shape those ideas, starting to dip our toes into what more does this era provide for us, since in the end it is about those gameplay experiences and the tools, all the little things that we provide you on the battlefield that will shape the next generation of your battlefield moments, or my battlefield moments. I hopefully meet you all on the battlefield.
Now, in the trailer, we see a few different locations, and I can only assume that you guys are going to be taking us to some new spots around the world?
Oh yeah, I mean, Battlefield 1 is set on an epic scale. It's a global war. It took place in so many places that, to be honest, we didn't really know from the start. So we want to take the player on a journey around the world and show you front lines, like the more known ones, for example, like the Western Front. But then also take you on a journey to the more unexpected ones. Take you to the Italian Alps, you know, big fortresses under siege, or the deserts of Arabia where cavalry charges take place. All of them creating new gameplay opportunities and possibilities that wouldn't be possible in the other ones. So all of this you will get to experience in different types of battles, all through multiplayer and the campaign.
And Westy, you said you've actually gotten to play Battlefield 1, which makes me jealous, but what was your experience as you encountered some of the elements?
Well, first of all, I really want to play it again, because it is really just epic to play. But one thing that I did notice moreover than anything else is the physicality of the game. It feels so much more brutal and gritty than previous Battlefield games in the past. That's something new that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, a guy got hit in the face with a shovel.
Yeah, that's probably the best
Face
example.
shot!
That's probably the best example. And if it makes you excited, then I'm pretty sure the rest of the community are going to be excited as well. So that's pretty cool.
Leaves mark.
So Lars, what do you think the community is going to love?
Hopefully everything, but if you force me to pick, I would say intensity of the battles, and kind of what you're touching upon here, that where the physicality reinforces the immersion, the senses of the battle going on the battlefield, where my actions and how they affect the world, but also how the world changes and how that affects me. So I'm super excited in seeing you all taking on the battle and how you turn, these beautiful, pristine landscapes into devastated battlefields. That's, I can't wait.
Yeah, and I would also like to say that I think that players will be excited to pilot these all amazing vehicles that probably none of you have played with ever before, including some of the largest ever vehicles we've ever built. So you could imagine that in a 64-player battle, and I would say then that playing the objective has never been more exciting or massive.
And Westy, what was it like for you getting to be one of those 64 players on the battlefield?
Well, reiterating what Alex has just said, 64 players is Battlefield, and there's always this chaos going on everywhere. But you are encouraged to play as a squad. That's what Battlefield's all about. You play with your friends, you play with your teammates, and team play really is a key thing in the battle to make sure that you win. But I know a lot of people out there like to play like a lone wolf style. They like to go solo, and you can still do that in Battlefield 1, which is really nice. And the gameplay feels balanced all the time. So you're going to go into a scenario, and there's always an equal chance that you might win or the enemy might win. And I'm really looking sort of forward to providing more feedback on that for you guys at DICE.
Please do.
Yeah.
And Battlefield is known for that rock, paper, scissors core game mechanic. Lars, does Battlefield 1 take that on?
Yes, I mentioned previously, I mean, Battlefield at its core, it is all about rock, paper, scissors. And when we continue to expand this sandbox, the toolbox, it is super important that all of these parts are built around the core of rock, paper, scissors in terms of gameplay. Since by doing this, and maybe I should explain, I mean, rock, paper, scissors, when we talk about it, it's the fact that some games have super weapons. If you have it, you're invincible. But in Battlefield and with rock, paper, scissors, there's always a counter to every tool. And that builds a very interesting dynamic where we can allow ourselves to balance the game, but also build kind of the tension where all of your choices matter. And that is, to me, what makes Battlefield beautiful.
And I would like to say that it's more of an analog world, to say. It's more about what you see is what you get. You fire the bullet, it goes in that direction. And we really want to focus on the uniqueness of these tools that provides all new gameplay experience, like using the speed of a motorcycle, throwing explosives, blowing the people up, or maybe like Westy here, snipe a pilot out of a biplane or something like that.
No, I'm really not that good.
You're not?
Well,
Okay, then I will do it. Someone's got to do it. But the point here is that you should need to adapt to the style and loadout to the type of situation you're in, and that's really what we want to give you as a player.
It's choice.
Yes.
It's all about choice. I mean, the game obviously looks amazing, but it seems like you guys have made some pretty big steps forward with the immersion in the game.
Yeah, so immersion is important in Battlefield 1, and what we want to do is to create an experience that really draws you in. You really feel like you're there, and you lose many hours just being absorbed in the gameplay and in the world that you are. This is also a more of a physical and personal type experience like we touched on before, and I think you really feel it when you play. On top of that, we are adding some intuitive, more instinctive gameplay controls that basically should remove the layer of you between you and the game. And all of this should hopefully enable you to experience more of those awesome, only in Battlefield moments that we all love and crave for, in all honesty.
Yeah, I only echo what you say. At the heart of it, I mean, we often talk about technology and other things, but in the end, it's not about the technology, but what it allows us to do. And with the possibilities we have now, we're pushing really hard for the audio, for the visuals, and camera work, all of these things that allows you to really drown in the experience and feel that you're there. Since when all of this happens, and of course, without interrupting the flow of the gameplay, that's when magic happens. You really have a much more organic, dynamic experience where everything becomes one.
And obviously, immersion does play a big role in the game. But Alex, you mentioned earlier that the heart of the gameplay, team play, is really key. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I can only echo what Wesley said, but classes and team play are the key for victory, of course. And you as a player, as a soldier, are a critical asset for your team when you play the objective, as we used to say. And Battlefield 1 is fun to play as a lone wolf, but we know it's more fun to play when you're in a squad together. So we made it even more fun and rewarding to play as a team. So we added this new system we call the Persistent Squads, for instance. So Westy and I, we're going to team up. Lars, you can maybe join if you... No, you can join us. Basically what that means is that we can go from server to server, from experience to experience in a seamless kind of way. And I will teach Lars how to not be the QA tester for the kill screen anymore.
I'm doing my best.
Yes,
I promise,
you are.
I promise.
I could tell it's a rough gig working with this
Yeah,
guy. He's
no,
rude. But
I
personally,
still love it.
for me, I like having the different weapons available to me in Battlefield. What do I have to choose from in Battlefield 1?
So what we really want to do is to provide the players with meaningful gameplay choices when they are picking their weapons. But of course, we'll have a huge variety of different weapons, including like pistols, shotguns, rifles, sniper rifles, machine guns, light machine guns. And we have these cool melee weapons. You like the shovel, I might like the mace that I will use. And I think a cool thing about the new melee weapons that we're adding is that is that they all have different pluses and minuses. Some of them are fast, some of them are heavy, and it's all about the type of playstyle that you want to use. So you pick the melee weapon that really fits your playstyle the best. And of course, who wouldn't want a pointy sword at the end of your rifle and charge down and move down your enemies?
So I can just like bayonet a guy right in the chest?
Yeah, you can do that. And it looks really, really cool when you do it as well. And I mentioned physicality earlier. This is one of the parts of the game that makes it so much more physical, where you're really going for it with that bayonet. It's a really cool thing to see.
It's the only time I really appreciate dying. You can die with a smile, yeah, it's a different experience, but the brutality, the physical experience is, yeah, I die with a smile.
All the time.
I deserved it.
All the time.
And obviously, when talking about a Battlefield game, the vehicles play an important part. Can you explain a little bit about the vehicles we're going to see in Battlefield 1?
Yes, of course. Vehicles are at the core of our all-out war gameplay. There's a huge variety of vehicles to choose from, giving some really cool and unique gameplay opportunities. So everything from scout planes to bomber planes and tanks, from light tanks to heavy tanks, and some boats, ships, battleships, horses, and much more.
Can we ride the horses in Battlefield 1?
I can either confirm or deny that at this point in time.
That sounds terrible. Wesley, what's your perspective on using some of those elements like a battleship?
Well, obviously it's a battleship, so it's extremely powerful when it's in your hands. You feel unstoppable using that kind of thing, but it always feels like you're contributing to the success of your team. You have this massive firepower, but your ultimate goal is to win over the enemy and make sure your team benefit from you using it. But because this thing is so big, you are just a massive target. And it doesn't take long for the enemy team to figure out what you're doing, and you don't last long after that.
Yes.
Beauty of rock, paper, scissors.
Exactly.
Makes sense. See, Alex, we talked about multiplayer today, but I know you guys that you have the team. You guys are creating a pretty great campaign for the game. Can you tell us about the campaign and what we can expect?
Yeah, it's more than pretty great, I would put it. But essentially what we wanted to do is to add more Battlefield in the Battlefield campaign. And that might sound silly, but what we're doing is we're adding a variety of vehicles, we're adding more gameplay, more agency, and more player choice, and more ways for you to experience all these cool Battlefield moments. Because at the core of this, we're creating a campaign that revolves around these Battlefield moments that we love. And that's how we started, and that's how we built the campaign around that. Now, in the campaign, we're going to tell us stories about the destinies of several different people and how they react to the world changing around them and how that changes them back. So we will be providing different perspectives of this era of these stories. So, and we'll dive more into those details in the next coming months.
We have to wait.
We have to wait.
Well, fine. All right. We're going to take some questions from the audience here and from the live stream. Coop, with the questions.
Yes. Yes. So, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Tommy from Two Angry Gamers, and I would love to know more about destruction. Destruction's a huge part of Battlefield now, and I think I speak for a lot of people in this room and around the world when I say we would like to blow everything up. Can we do that?
Yes. Yeah, can we do that? Can we do that?
Sounds like music in my ears. Yes, we all love destruction, and I think it's something that is truly unique for Battlefield. And of course, I mean, with the communication with the community, or communication, the feedback from community and our own wishes is really to push the boundary for destruction in the dynamic world. Since, to be honest, we're stepping back to an era where the destructive power was enormous. There were thousands upon thousands artillery shells fired in the day. We see plenty of the vehicles up here that do massive destruction. So we feel that pushing this and giving that into the hands of the players will be a really strong part of what this game is all about.
Yeah, and we actually had Westy over a couple of months ago playing a map when he was in the battleship, actually. And then we actually got to the point where there was actually too much destruction. So I think it's
Is there such a thing?
Apparently there is.
It's the first time we've gotten that.
Yeah, this is news to me as well. But apparently what we need to find is to strike a balance between what breaks the gameplay and what keeps it dynamic and emergent as possible. So that's the balance we're striving for. But as much as possible goes, obviously, because that's what we want to do.
You will leave a mark.
Yes.
Nice. Coop, question me.
Yep. All right.
Hey, my name is X Factor, and it looks like tanks are to be feared again in the Battlefield franchise. How's vehicle gameplay going to be different in Battlefield 1?
So that's a great question. So I mentioned earlier that we would be having kind of different types of tanks, everything from light to heavy tanks. And what's cool about these vehicles is that they are in themselves unique. So you can't just learn one tank and apply that knowledge to other tanks because they're unique in the way they look and they perform and they play. And I think it's up to the players to find out and figure out all the little quirks from how they perform and what you're supposed to do with them. And of course, we have we're bringing back some sort of rather large tanks, so you can bring your whole squad into the tank almost, or I think we can, the whole squad. Yes, thank you, Lars.
Of course.
Yeah. Yes, the full tank, which is pretty exciting. And so there's a huge variety, and I think that it's all about figuring out the quirks and the details and how that thing works.
Yeah, I mean, these were times where tanks were built out of necessity to push through the front lines, and with that, everyone had their own take on how they were to be built and shaped. And instead of seeing that as something negative, we've taken that and embraced it to create different types of experiences. And it wasn't until later wars where they decided that this is the best solution, and then minor tweaks. So for this, it's a great opportunity for us to build new gameplay experience where all tanks are different. So, good stuff.
Cool.
Yep, we got another question.
Hi, my name is Berdu, and we saw some flamethrower action in the trailer. So what can you tell us about the flamethrower dude?
Ah, the flamethrower dude. I didn't think anyone saw that guy. Oh, I want to be the flamethrower dude. No, we have a huge variety of weapons and gadgets that we'll be playing around with, and this guy will play a special role as well. And that's something that we are going to have to dive into the details in the next couple months. But definitely, it will somehow be in your hands.
Yeah, what's super interesting for us is really this was where the old world met the new world, and we want to depict this. So the variety of tools, the variety of approaches and tactics is something that we really want to reinforce. And I mean, yes, we're going to dive into what exactly these are, but it's been a very interesting project from finding all of these possibilities.
Cool. Got another question for me?
Yes, I do.
I'm Stoda. I was wondering if there was any weapon customization at all?
Yes, there will be weapon customization. And we have some cool stuff going on there, and we're even adding a new type of flavor that we're adding to these weapons. I can't go into too much details about what that is right now, but I think that you'll appreciate us taking what we had and kind of developing that a little bit further and to provide even more customization options that I know you guys love and like so much.
Awesome. And we have some community questions from the live stream. Dan Mitri, to the stage, please. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Mitri, Global Community Manager.
Yeah, so we're coming live from chat.
Nice.
So we're going to pull
What's
this
the
up.
chat say?
I've been watching here. Yeah,
okay.
It's crazy. Okay, so first question. You said you may or may not be able to ride horses. Can you fight with them?
What? Can I what?
Can you fight with them?
Can I fight with them? Bringing mounts is new to the franchise. So it's pretty exciting for us to bring a new type of vehicle to the franchise. And obviously that will be providing us with some all new gameplay experiences and opportunities that goes with that. But without revealing too much, yeah, there's something there. And I think I revealed a lot already, so yeah.
But it's definitely one of the things that for us as developers have made us super excited working on this project.
Yeah, it won't just be sat there in the corner.
It's one of our pet peeves.
Yeah.
I see that chat lighting up on that. That's a good answer. What's the deal with bayonet charges and melee combat? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, Lars, do you?
I think, once again, going back to the beauty of this era and the gameplay that we want to depict here is that in order to capture the fun gameplay within it, we have shortened engage distances. It is a much more up-close and personal experience. And would it be the trench warfare when you finally reach your enemy? Melee was a valid tactic and a necessity, to be honest. So to embrace this and add additional gameplay depth is what we really wanted to do. So whatever you choose in terms of tools, previously it's been more of possibilities, but now we want to take it even further. Whatever you choose, you have a different approach that fits your playstyle. And then, of course, the bayonet charges,
Yeah.
where I always end up on the receiving end. But yeah, so we want to broaden it and give it more space.
Okay, I have one more question. We saw in the trailer gas and gas masks. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so yes, there is gas, and the counter to that obviously will be the gas mask. This is up to you, obviously, whether or not you want to charge through that area. You want to try to find a way around the area with the gas. Again, this is to provide unique gameplay flavors, and how you utilize that is all up to you, and how you want to charge through it or not, that's also up to you. So it's an interesting flavor.
Yeah, it's about finding the varieties and providing all of these different tools into the toolbox to give even more variety, more choice, and more things to adapt to. And the one who does it fastest wins, I guess, or smartest.
Awesome. Well, thank you, crowd questions. Thanks, chat questions. And thank you guys. I mean, Alex, any last remarks?
Yeah, so Battlefield is a huge game. And what you saw today was only a small part of what the game is about and what we've been working on for these last few years. But we will be showing you more in the next couple months.
I can't wait to play again, and I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it either.
So,
Yeah. That's what matters in the end.
Then it's time for me to step in and say that, don't worry. we have a couple of opportunities coming up, since first and foremost, in about a month, we have EA Play coming up in June, where you have the possibility of getting first hands-on with the game. And then later on, you can get early access to the open beta by becoming a Battlefield insider. So go in on battlefield.com and sign up, and there will be news.
I mean, obviously, we have to get to the £1 million question. Can you give us a legit release date?
Oh.
A confirmed release date?
I thought that was leaked already. Okay, I'll give you the official word then. So the official worldwide release is October 21st.
Nice.
Soon.
But if you pre-order the early enlister edition, you'll get the game as early as October the 18th. Plus, for our EA Access and Origin Access member, we'll play the game before it's released with the Play First trials on Xbox One and PC.
Awesome. You guys, thank you so much for coming and showing us and the world and the millions and millions of people watching the brand new Battlefield 1 trailer. Hopefully, the Battlefield fans enjoyed the show. Make sure you stay in touch with Battlefield on all their social channels, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
Yes.
Can we play the trailer again? Can we play the we can? Let's play the trailer one more time. Play the trailer!
Bring it on.
Play it first on Xbox One with EA Access.